Hello and welcome to this week's newscast from Power Engineering International. I'm Kelvin Ross. In this week's headlines, the German government has revised its plans to force coal plant operators to reduce their emissions. EDF has said it expects to make a complete takeover bid for fellow French company Areva this week. E.ON is to build the first offshore wind farm off the south coast of England. And the global hydropower market could double its capacity to 2,000 gigawatts according to the World Energy Council. The German government has decided to compromise on its plans to force coal plant operators to reduce their emissions following protests from the coal lobby. The Economy Ministry now plans to require coal plant operators to cut their emissions by 16 million tonnes by 2020, compared with the previous target of at least 22 million tonnes, according to a ministry document seen by Reuters. Germany's largest power producer, RWE, had warned that the severity of the initial plan would have forced the closure of its lignite plants, and coal workers had marched on Berlin to protest against the measures. The levy is aimed at forcing coal operators to slash their emissions and stop Germany from falling short of its target to cut greenhouse gases by 40% by 2020, compared to 1990 levels. Power plants older than 20 years were also required to pay a penalty on CO2 emitted above a limit of 7 million tonnes per gigawatt of installed capacity, with the oldest plants receiving even lower exemptions. However, the new proposal has raised the amount of CO2 older power stations are able to emit before the penalties kick in. The ministry document said that increasing the amount that is exempt by almost a third will significantly increase the profitability of older power stations. The chief executive of French energy group EDF has said that a formal takeover bid will be made for nuclear reactor company Areva this week. In his first public comments on the subject, Jean-Bernard Lévy said that an offer would be made within days for a complete takeover of Areva, which employs around 17,000 staff worldwide. He said the more ambitious proposal would preserve the technical expertise of Areva's reactor business and create the possibility of partnerships with outside groups from France or elsewhere. He also confirmed that a second, more limited offer, which is said to be preferred by Areva management, would also be made to bring 1,200 Areva engineers who specialise in nuclear safety into EDF. The French government owns 87% of Areva and 85% of EDF, and it will get to choose between the two offers. The government has repeatedly said that it wants the most efficient organisation of the French nuclear industry and greater cooperation between EDF and Areva. E.ON has given the financial go-ahead for a £1.3 billion offshore wind farm in the UK. The 400 megawatt Rampion offshore wind farm will comprise 116 turbines and is set to become the first offshore wind farm off the south coast of England. The project has been financed by E.ON and the UK's Green Investment Bank. UK Energy Secretary Amber Rudd said that the huge investment was a vote of confidence in the UK. She claimed that Britain is the best place in the world to invest in offshore wind, thanks to the certainty that she said the government is providing to attract private finance in partnership with the Green Investment Bank. E.ON UK Chief Executive Tony Cocker said the project was an important milestone for what he called a strategically important project for the UK. He added that the £1.3 billion investment by E.ON and the Green Investment Bank could be one of the biggest capital projects confirmed in Britain this year. Construction of an offshore substation is planned to start in June, followed by preparation works for the onshore cable route. Offshore construction will start early next year, with planned completion in 2018. The global hydroelectric power market has the potential to double its capacity to 2,000 gigawatts by 2050, according to a report from the World Energy Council. The study was presented at the World Hydropower Congress in Beijing this week, and the World Energy Council said that the 2,000 gigawatt target could be achieved earlier than 2050 if governments and multilateral banks give help to emerging economies where hydropower resources are underutilised. Christopher Frey, Secretary-General of the World Energy Council, said that the future for hydropower lies in the opening up of new markets through cross-border trade and power pools and devising appropriate market conditions, such as renewable incentives, clearer price signals for additional services, and flexible generation. He said that while some governments and multilateral banks are supporting and encouraging neighbouring nations to cooperate and share the same water resources, more innovative solutions are needed. The report predicts that the regions where there is the highest potential for rapid growth in hydropower are China, India, Brazil and Southeast Asia. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.